Hey, what's up, buddy? What's up, Bobby? Hey, hey, what's up, big guy? What's up, Bobby? What's up, Bobby?
You're going to be put in a position as a breeder to determine whether your dog may live or whether they may die.
Speedy, baby.
Alright, everybody, so I may look upset, I may be way too serious, and I may even curse in this video. I apologize beforehand. It's just the only way I know how to express myself given how stressful a weekend this past weekend was with Ghost. And I feel like this video will truly help you all in understanding the real shit that goes down with breeding. And I think it's important that instead of looking through the lens of, oh, this is easy money, you have to understand the real shit that goes on when handling with dogs and dealing with dogs, especially when getting into this field. And it goes much more than pockets. It goes to your heart, your love, your passion, how much you truly love these dogs, how much of an impact you want to make on this breed. How do we improve upon the breed? When you're looking at it through this lens, it's different. Let me just note to you all, I'm just like you. I'm a newer breeder. I've done a lot of homework, and I've studied the breed extensively because I wanted to see how can I improve upon the breed and how can I bring something different. And this has been 2 years in the making just about. I've done everything calculated, all the stuff I want to get into, and then boom, I get smacked in the face with something this past weekend, a harsh dose of reality. And I think that what I went through, you need to be aware of what you can get into, because I was brought real quick into an experience that will change my life and how I definitely view this field. And if you truly don't love it, don't get into it. And I feel like this story will help you. So I get home Sunday afternoon, and we had just bought clothes for our son that's on the way. And I go outside, it's a beautiful day out. And I'm playing with Ghost, we're throwing the ball back and forth, we're doing some obedience and working on some stuff, right? And out of nowhere, I noticed that he tries peeing and nothing's coming out. And he has some dribbling pee, but I'm like, hey, what's going on? Like, you know, I never seen that before from him. And, you know, he's running around. I continuously see him trying to run and try to pee. And it was the same result. So I started Googling signs, started really seeing like, what could it be? So I wanted to check his appetite. Ghost eats, he's fine, he's hungry, he devours his food, everything's looking good. So I go back outside, you know, half hour later, just to finish out the fire, just to finish smoking my cigar. And I let Ghost out because, you know, I want to see him run around. And I noticed the same thing happens. And at this point, you know, nothing was coming out. And I'm like, oh shit, this is a problem. We got to go to the 24-hour emergency center, right? This is Sunday night. And it's 8 o'clock when we get there. And for whatever reason, you know, they have emergencies, so we're not high on the priority list because Ghost is considered stable. Whatever. But the big issue became, well, why isn't my dog urinating? Is there something large in the urethra? Is he struggling with something that went undiagnosed that we didn't know about? We've gotten Ghost health tested. We've taken him to the vet. We've had his blood work ran. We have all the results. So up until this point, you know, it caught us extremely off guard. And when we get him in to the room, right away I noticed Ghost was acting different. For the first time, Ghost was growling at some of the medical staff, some of the techs, and I'm like, wait, hold on, this isn't my boy. And if anybody has a dog, you own a dog, you understand your dog. I've brought him everywhere. ABKC shows, UKC shows, PetSmart, pet shops in general. I brought him around busy areas, Philadelphia, areas where there was a ton of people that he will allow to pet him while I was petting him. For him to react the way he did to them, I immediately knew something was wrong with him. So I understood this and I'm like, okay, now what's the next phase? Because I got to make sure my boys are right. Because at this point, it's not about, oh, they got the beautiful coat. Oh, they're making me money. No, it's like, no, this is my son. I got to get shit handled with him. I got to make sure he's good. And I think people don't talk about that a lot. The shit that could happen when you're getting into this field. So we go in and they're telling me that they got to sedate him and that they have to take x-rays of him and do all this other stuff, right? They have to put the catheter through him. They have to make sure he could pee, that they could get an extraction of his urine so that they could test it, right? And then they have to do ultrasound of him to see if everything's okay up in there. Now, let me tell you something. That Sunday night, we didn't get into that room till about maybe 10:30, 11 o'clock. At 11 o'clock, I saw my boy get sedated in front of me, and I saw him fall asleep, lay right on his side with his tongue out right in front of me. Let me tell you something. When you getting into this shit, it gets real. It gets serious. Because when I was looking at my dog, the only thing I thought what was happening in front of my face was I was losing a son. And that's how passionate I am about this. And that's how serious this shit is. And I think everybody needs to understand what you're getting into when you actually get into these dogs. Because it's much more than just making money. When you love these dogs, this shit hurts. And I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. This shit hurts. I was pacing back and forth with my sister right there. I'm looking at my dog and I'm praying for the best. I'm praying he gets up because I know how it is with drugs and I know how it is with the risks that come with it. And I'm seeing goals and I'm just like, come on, baby, make it. I need you to make it. And yeah, it might not have been something crazy, right? But you never know what can happen. That's the what if, right? What if? What if something went wrong? And that's a decision I made because I had to get him checked out. Now, granted, I didn't have a choice because we had to do it. But it's just I had to be put in that position to make that decision. And can you make that decision? Can you do it for the betterment of your dog? To save your dog? God forbid something was to happen. So they extract the urine and everything seems to be okay. They found some small bladder stones that were caused from a UTI. And the worst part about it was Ghost showed no signs of having a UTI. We don't even know when he caught it. For all we know, it was in him for a while, and that's what developed the stones. But they're getting tested so we can get further knowledge as to what happened. So to wrap it all up, they wake Ghost back up. I'm rubbing him, making sure he's okay. I'm trying to get him up, and then as soon as he starts getting up, he starts coming back. That's when I start feeling a little bit better. But you know, side effects from the drugs, him being a little whiny, him crying. It's just things that I wasn't used to and shit that I don't want to see my dog go through, right? So the doctor explains to us that there's nothing blocking the urethra. He goes on to give some scenarios that could happen. But, you know, we made the decision to, you know what, let's talk with the vet first. Let's make sure our boy is good and let's see if we can exercise our options before going into the surgery realm, right? And the next day we follow up, speak with the vet. Everything is cool. We formulated a plan. We're getting the food for him. So at this point, we're walking him every hour on the hour. We want to monitor the urine. And around 6 o'clock, I started noticing he was straining a little bit more and I was only getting drops. Then I got like 2 streams and I was like this, okay, maybe we're okay. When my wife got home like around 7-ish, she took him out. He was getting nothing out. When he was getting nothing out, we were like, okay, now we got to take him to the emergency room again, and now we got to get him evaluated. So at this point, we go to another emergency room, and that was when, you know, shit got real. Right before our eyes, the doctor explains to us that your dog has an obstruction. That's why he's straining to urinate. And at this point, Ghost had tried going for the last 2 hours, and nothing was coming out. So we understood at that point he had an obstruction. And now he has to go into emergency surgery because we have to get that out because we can't let those toxins develop inside of him because there's a potential that he could die. Now, at this point, let me explain something to you guys. When you're getting into this field, understanding that there's risk when doing surgeries, right? Understanding that you could be the one to put your dog in that situation, even though, like I said before, we had no choice. But to see them and potentially be the last time that you see them. Let me explain something to you. There's nothing worse than seeing your dog, knowing that they have something going on with them, and you can't be there with them. Me looking at my dog, seeing him so happy and understanding he has something wrong with him, and that potentially there's a chance that I may not be able to see this boy again. That shit broke my heart that Monday night. I'm there, tears coming down my eyes, my wife and I, both of us, because of how much we genuinely love this dog. We love Ghost so much, and to be put in that position, that shit sucked. And people might not tell you this. People might think that, oh, this is easy. They may think that dogs are expendable. Dogs are not expendable, period. I don't care what nobody says. I don't care what nobody says about no business. It's not about that. When you love these dogs, this is what needs to be done. People would have been okay with saying, oh yeah, nah, we could put them down for something like that. No, we paid the money. People want to talk about, oh, it's easy money. Yeah, it's easy money till you get those vet bills, right? Yeah, let's talk about that, those vet bills, the vet fees. It doesn't matter about the vet fees to us. Yeah, it's expensive. But as long as my boy is right by my side, there's nothing else that matters. If I can save this man's life so I can live my life and have him around for my family, my kids, that's what I'm gonna do. You understand that? So when people start thinking about, oh, it's easy money, is this and that, or I could be the next Bossy Kennels, or I could be the next DDK now. Understand that when you love dogs the way they love dogs, shit like this happens. There's a reason why Marlon always talks about all the pain he's went through with the dogs that he's lost. This shit ain't for the faint. This is not easy. When you love these dogs the way I love my dog, that shit is heartbreaking. So when you are put in a position where you have to deal with that, it's rough. I had to leave my dog there overnight. They had to put a catheter in him to get the pee out. Once they were able to flush everything out, he had to go in for surgery the next day. I couldn't go to sleep all night. All night I can't go to sleep. I'm staying up, praying to God that I don't get a call that something bad happened to my dog. The following day, waking up in the morning, my heart pounding when I get a fucking phone call from the doctor and I don't know what they're gonna tell me. You answer the call, your heart is palpitating, it's like this, and then they tell you good news. So now you're like, okay. All night my wife and I were stressing out. Barely got no more than maybe 4 hours of sleep in 2 days. Yesterday was the first time I was able to get some sleep, and that was because the doctor called us at 8 o'clock telling us that everything is looking good for him. We took him outside for a walk and he was doing good. He was engaging, he was showing them love, and that was when I started saying, okay, my boy's coming back. Now at this point, he's on track for us to pick him up today, which is when we're doing this video. And we pick him up, he's so happy to see us, but my dog is going through some shit. I could tell he's in pain and I could tell he's not himself. And I'm the one that now I'm like, shit, was it me? Did I put him through that? How did I not know something was up? And now my dog is going through some shit and I can't really help him because he's recovering in his own right. And now my wife and I are like, yo, this is crazy. Because when people get into this, you would think that, oh, it's easy. This shit ain't easy, man. It's not. If you are not built to handle losing somebody, losing a dog, understanding how shitty it could get and how quickly it could get shitty, this field ain't for you. Understand that when my dog was going through that, there was times where I said, yo, can I even get into dog breeding? Understanding that this could be the risk. And you know what trumped that? Was me saying, well, you know what? I love this dog so much that I gotta have his blood around me at all times. And no matter what, my love for this breed goes way more than just being scared to lose one of them. And this is the real shit that I was discussing. Because you're gonna be put in a position as a breeder to determine whether your dog may live or whether they may die. And when you love these dogs the way we love them, the bond that you share with them, this is not easy. This shit can get very stressful, and it'll get very stressful real fast. Your pockets will go all the way up. And on top of that, now you got to make sure that your dog is taken care of to the point where you got to make sure you don't have no setbacks. And when people want to say, oh yeah, because you had that experience doesn't mean I'm going to have that experience. It's about being aware of the shit that could happen. And I know this is a long video. Shit, some of y'all might not even care about what I got to say. The bigger issue becomes making the community aware, making new breeders aware, and people like me aware of what could happen. And when you understand what could happen, you'll find out who the hell you are real quick. When those tears was coming down my face, when I was looking at my dog, holding him for the last time just before I let him go into that room, understanding that there was a chance I may not see him again. When you got to go through that type of pain, let me explain something to you. That opens up your eyes a lot to a lot of shit. And you know what, man? Maybe God put this in my life for whatever reason. I don't know. We had this experience for who knows. And this is something that I will learn from. And this is something that I'll never forget. And most importantly, now you understand what it's like being new into this. Understanding that now, oh, it's easy money, right? It's, oh, yeah, we're going to make a lot of money. We're going to get rich quick. Yeah, we're going to be the next Bossy Kennels. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Vet bills, I'm down. The initial amount of money we paid to get ghosts. Now, the female we're supposed to be getting. Y'all want to talk about, oh, it's easy money, right? Yeah, but be prepared to lose about 20 grand before you can ever see any return on investment. Before you can even start breaking even. Because to be honest with you, if you're getting into dog breeding, the goal should be to give your dogs the very best that they could have. And if you can't give your dogs the very best, what are you doing with that money? Because your money should be investing towards getting a better setup. Every breeding, there should be a purpose behind it. I want to get a better kennel setup. I want to be able to give my dogs a better life. I want to be able to expand on the property. Give them more land to run on. Give them more of a life to live. Shit ain't about making easy money. You want your dogs to live a happy ass life. A life where they enjoy being around you. A life where they trust you. A life where they will want to do nothing else than be by your side and hang out with you. And that's what's most important when getting into this field. And I hope that this experience that I went through can help you all in determining, is this shit for me? And if it's not, it is what it is. But I just love this breed so much that no matter what happens, I got to do right by it. And that's most important. So I hope this video was able to help a lot of you. And I hope it really raised your eyes to show, well, you know what? Yeah, this really could happen. These are things that people may not discuss. These are things that, you know, quite frankly, some people may not even go through. But it's big that you understand the shit that could happen and how shitty it could happen. So with that being said, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll keep you updated with our boy Ghost. He's on the road to recovery right now, and it's just a whole lot of stuff that we got to do to make sure our boy's good to go. So with that being said, we'll catch you on the next one. We're up and out of here.
Speedy baby.